So Dame has been going nuts lately. Not surprising. He does this every regular season. He goes scorched earth for some stretch of games. Blazers have won 6 in a row. It's not just him, it's Gary Trent. Melo had an awesome stretch of like 20 points in 5 of 6 games, I believe it was. But of course, you do have to start with Dame, and the heart of it is the Dame pick and roll, and of course the pull-up threes. And his passing has been nuts. My favorite sequence was against OKC, where he hit 2 or 3 straight step backs in the fourth quarter, one of which he shot with so much confidence. It was like he just believes every single one of these shots is going to go in. And I mean, some of it, there is real game planning where he'll reject the screen because he sees that the defender on usually Cantor is already committing to Dame using the screen, so he goes the other way and then pulls up. Sometimes he just shoots it with the defender in his face without even thinking about it. I mean, we've all seen it. It is what it is. He's hitting crazy threes. But I think the Blazers are also running some interesting off-ball action for him. Not all the time, but sometimes. There's also been moments where there's horns sets where it's like Cantor with Melo or Covington or Gary Trent. There was even one play specifically that I remember where Melo set a screen for Dame. I don't remember what game it was particular, but it ended up with a Melo open three-pointer. And not all of these end up in Dame buckets, but it's just the amount of gravity that Dame has, whether it's off of the screen or driving to the basket, and the passes that he's pulling off right now when he's throwing it to guys in the corner, he's getting it to Cantor in the dunker spot, or whatever it may be. It's insanely impressive, and it's not just threes. I mean, the Philly game, which was talked about, Ben Simmons locking him up and all that, and I did a post-game thing for that, and Melo had a big game there, but Dame was so good at drawing fouls. I mean, there was one Trae Young-esque ticky-tack foul on Ben Simmons, but I think he got fouled on 2 threes, so that resulted in 6 free throws right there. There was another play when he got downhill off of, I think it was a pick and roll, it might have just been him going an ISO, and Danny Green fouled him because Dame just went right to the basket with no fear at all. And I really just don't know what you do. I mean, unless you're Philly and you can put Ben Simmons on him, like, good luck. Especially because this team suddenly has a lot of threats. I mean, there have been times when defenses are double-teaming Dame, and the Pelicans even had a zone defense at one point. But with how good Melo has been and with how good Gary Trent has been, it's not a surprise. The Blazers have the best offense in the last 10 games or whatever it might be. If I can talk about Gary Trent specifically, I mean, a lot of it is catch and shoot threes, but he's got a lot of guts, man. I mean, he takes a lot of contested threes, pull-up mid-rangers, step-back mid-rangers. I think they do a good job with running some handoff plays for Trent to get him a little bit of momentum going to the basket. I'm interested to see if he could handle pick and roll because he's not a bad ball handler. He can do a bit off the dribble, and he's just making shots. And suddenly, he becomes pretty crucial for this team because they've needed a guy like him for so long. The third guy that the defense has to be scared of on this team because there was just too many guys they could leave open. Harkless, Aminu, Zach Collins wasn't getting a whole lot of attention even if he had some potential from outside. Trent is a whole different story. And I really want to see what it looks like with Dame, CJ, and Gary Trent. Those three have played 0 minutes together this season. When CJ is back, in about 2 weeks apparently, hopefully, we're going to have to see how that goes. But there's a real possibility that the Blazers can put 3 20-point scorers out there. I mean, I said in that post-game recap for that Sixers game, I think Gary Trent can average 20 points right now. It's mainly off of three-pointers, yeah, but he's that good of a shooter. He's shooting 45% on 7 threes a game right now. And this is not a fluke. I mean, you look at his one season in college, he shot 40% on 240 threes. He shot 88% at the free throw line. Dude can make shots. And I just want to see those 3 out there because I think that's, again, it's something that this team just really has not had. Now, if we could talk about Melo, he was great for 5 of 6 games. He had like a 2-game stretch that wasn't so good. The last game against the Pelicans, he was good. Some of it is more catch and shoots, but especially against the Wizards and the Sixers, it was looking like old Carmelo Anthony. I mean, we remember that fourth quarter stretch he had where he was just making contested shots. I think he had like 3 straight elbow jumpers over Tobias Harris or whatever it was. And then against the Wizards, he was mainly operating from mid-range. He had a number of turnaround jumpers. I think he had 1 or 2 pull-up baseline shots, like classic Carmelo Anthony shots. And while I don't think that's going to be the norm for him this whole season, he's going to have a few more of these types of games. Between Dame, CJ, and Trent, and then the occasional 20-point game from Melo, it's pretty damn good. As far as the surviving without Nurkic thing, look, Kanter, he just has good chemistry with Dame. I mean, Kanter, for all of his problems, he can set screens, he can roll, he can beat a switch, and he can grab offensive rebounds. He's a part of the reason why this offense has been so damn good. And the complementary guys have been all right. Like Covington's threes have been better. Simons' shooting has been a bit better in this 6-game stretch, but you can extend that out to like the last 10 or so games, and Simons has been a bit better. Are they going to be able to guard anyone? I think that's a hell of a question. I mean, you look at it like, okay, Gary Trent, not known as a defender, but he seems pretty strong. He's 6'5". Dame and CJ have improved over time, but they are what they are defensively. Covington on his best day is a very good team defender who's okay on the ball. You got Kanter, who is doing his best. Nurkic, who is, I guess, going to be out for about another month or so. It's certainly an uphill climb. I don't know if they have that many ways to really make a move. I mean, they can't trade a pick since it's locked up in protections from the Covington trade. So they kind of just have what they have. I mean, Derek Jones, I didn't mention Derek Jones, but like he's one of their defensive guys. And I mean, can Derek Jones and Covington carry a defense? No. We'll see. You know, if they can at least not turn the ball over, not foul, control the defensive glass, get back on defense, and make teams take a couple more mid-rangers than they'd like to attempt, then perhaps instead of being the 28th best defense in the league or whatever they currently are, they can be like 19th. And you combine that with what I think can be a very, very good offense. It already is a very good offense, but I think it's got room to be even better with CJ coming back. Then, that's the formula. I liked them a lot going into the season. And as of right now, I think while I don't know if I would confidently predict this, I do think they can beat the Clippers, the Jazz, the Suns in a playoff series. A lot of it is, again, Dame just going crazy, but it's also this offense that, to me, with CJ out there and with Trent doing what he's doing, they can be really tough to deal with. But still, it'll be tough because they're going to have to overcome some stuff on defense and whatever else. Anyway, that's it. Dame's looking good. Blazers looking good.